Hey YouTube, I want to share with you today my thoughts and opinions regarding the current state of the media and how it relates to our everyday lives. The press, or in modern terms the media, has been described as a fourth estate, essentially meaning a fourth branch or power within the country. European and North American governance traditions have recognized the value to transparency of the free press and codified this within their governing documents, such as our own Constitution. For a republic to flourish, someone has to ask the hard questions and report the answers to those questions back to the public, who are voters, so that they can remain fully informed. Thomas Jefferson said, "The only security of all is in a free press. The force of public opinion cannot be resisted when permitted freely to be expressed. The agitation it produces must be submitted to. It is necessary to keep the waters pure." Unfortunately, what we have today is not what we had even 50 years ago. What you watch and read today is a carefully tailored interpretation of events, pointing your attention in certain directions and away from others. Three things have gradually been employed to shape the media structure that currently exists. The first is the actual relationship of media outlets and sponsors that has evolved over time. Doesn't matter if you're a Fox fan or an MSNBC fan, you're being spoon-fed what they want you to be concerned with. It's important for you to know and realize that you're not actually the customers of media. The sponsors are. The second, and perhaps most important, is the relaxation or lack of enforcement of antitrust statutes in relation to the media. In his book, Media Monopoly, Ben Bagdikian said, "Leading corporations own the leading news media, and their advertisers subsidize most of the rest. They decide what news and entertainment will be made available to the country. They have a direct influence on the country's laws by making the majority of the massive campaign contributions that go to favored politicians. Their lobbyists are permanent fixtures in legislatures. This inevitably raises suspicions of overt conspiracy, but there is none. Instead, there is something more insidious, a system of shared values within contemporary American corporate culture and corporations' power to extend that culture to the American people, inappropriate as it may be." Between 1983 and 2012, media ownership, which is newspapers, magazines, TV, and radio, went from 50 companies down to 6. Please take a moment to realize what this means. You're being spoon-fed what they want you to hear. You're being told who to vote for, and I don't necessarily mean Republican or Democrat, but more along the lines of what candidate they've chosen for within your respective party. You're being told what to buy, what to watch, what to believe, and interestingly, what to get mad at. You're being fed a narrow spectrum of issues as they see fit: gun control, war on women, gay marriage, abortion, and others. Don't get me wrong, we all have definite opinions, but while they're keeping you busy with these issues, what are they steering you away from, and what is the rest of the world doing? Joseph Goebbels, the propaganda minister for the Third Reich, said, "What you need to control a media system is ostensible diversity that conceals an actual uniformity." The third thing that has occurred is a certain level of cronyism combined with a carrot and a stick with reporters. This is particularly true of the executive branch of government, which rewards reporters who play ball with access and restricts the access of those who ask the hard questions. This has gone to the extreme in some cases, with Congress attempting to define who qualifies as a journalist, President Obama branding Fox News reporter James Rosen as a conspirator for reporting on a story, and our own Attorney General Eric Holder seizing the phone records of the Associated Press and their private phone records, and dozens of other attempts to punish non-supportive media, whistleblowers, and sources. Believe me, I hold the traditional view that reporters and the media in general can be a pain in the behind, but where would our republic be without them? We would be a different nation entirely. Those old enough to remember Watergate can understand what a different country this would be if those reporters had been suppressed. History would have been different. As of 2014, the organization called Reporters Without Borders has added the U.S. to its Enemies of the Internet list. We are in company with 21 other countries, to include Iran, North Korea, Burma, Cuba. Reporters Without Borders classifies this list as all of those countries who mark themselves out not just for their capacity to censor news and information online, but also for their almost systematic repression of internet users. Fine company indeed. So, how do you stay informed? First off, I think it's your duty to stay informed. I think that being an informed citizen is an important duty, surely a prerequisite to voting. I would advise you to seek out and read the opinions of others. I read Drudge and Fox every day, and especially like the fact that Drudge has links to dozens of other news outlets and blogs down at the bottom of their page. That speaks to their credibility as far as I'm concerned. I also read liberal news sites, and especially foreign news sites. Of course, reading other countries' news sites is a different brand of propaganda altogether, but it gives you a wider perspective on the world situation. I've read that Reuters has the least amount of outside influence, so they're high on my list. Do you know what happened on February 15th, 2003? Do you know how many countries we currently have U.S. troops or air power operating in an offensive capacity? Do you know what non-Americans think about our use of drones? Do you know the intensity of reaction that the Germans had to the NSA spying? Why do countries like Iran and Venezuela dislike us so much? Is Edward Snowden a traitor? I would venture a guess that most Americans do not have this knowledge or have an opinion that was given to them. I've put links below to some of the news outlets that I use regularly, to include a blog that I enjoy reading, Fabius Maximus. It's interesting to read through Fox, CNN, MSNBC, and then find that CBC, BBC, Russia Today, France 24, Deutsche World, and Al Jazeera are focused on entirely different subjects. For some perspective on this, check out the interesting link below to Time magazine covers around the world. It's easy to get to your favorite website or TV channel and see what you want to see, hear what you want to hear, which are all affirmations of what you, your friends, and family already believe. But it takes a bit of effort and a bit of getting out of your comfort zone to seek out more, apply some critical thinking, and develop an opinion that's truly your own. I see this as a deeper level of patriotism and the most essential part of a citizen-led republic. Do not take my word on this. Do not just absorb my opinion or reject it. Always seek out the information on your own and verify it. See the link below for Retro Report. This site shows news stories of the past, and to me is a key indicator of past media manipulation of the public. Promise you that after a time, you will become a bigger person and, more importantly, a better citizen of our republic. Our liberty depends on the freedom of the press, and that cannot be limited without being lost. Thomas Jefferson. Thank you, and stay safe.